First things first, I know the lighting is amazing. You know, I'm really sick of people making fun of me and my beliefs, or lack thereof. That's really the gist of what I get when Christians start telling me, you believe what you want, and I believe what I want, but you just need to shut up. That's really all I get out of that, is quit making fun of me. Quit making fun of me and my beliefs. Well, if your notions or claims made sense, and if you have rational, logical arguments to defend what you're claiming, then you wouldn't have any problem about what someone's saying about your beliefs. Now, as an atheist, I have a lack of belief, and apparently a lot of Christians don't understand that. It's not that I believe that there is not a God. It's that I have a lack of belief that there is a God based on the evidence that suggests that evolution is true, that the age of things is completely different from what's recorded in not only just the Bible, but other religious texts. And, you know, there's many other contradictions that come with religion, and a lot of it just doesn't fucking make sense if you were to actually think about it. And instead of just writing off what doesn't make sense or what doesn't apply and what I don't or do agree with, I just accept it all as a whole and understand that I must dismiss it as a whole, since it all doesn't make sense. Or at least the majority of it just doesn't make logical sense. For instance, there is a percentage of which babies die, right? Infant death. There's obviously a percentage of that. Why would there be a percentage of babies that die if there's an all-loving God and we're His creatures and He loves us and so on and so forth? Right? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Also, if we are His loved creation, then how come there's so much disease, of which apparently no matter what we do, we can't prevent it? Or how come there's natural disasters that kill not only hundreds or thousands, but tens of thousands of us at a time? You know, how come it is that if I was out in the wild with no modern technology like a gun or any other type of protection, how come it is that just about any other beast out there would manhandle me to my absolute almost no defense of what has been given to me by nature? You know, like, you try to go up against like a crocodile or a bear, you're absolutely fucked. You just are. So a lot of that just doesn't make sense to me. If God created us and we are His loved creature, then I would think that He would give us the tools and necessities to survive. You know, there's other biological things, such as, why do we breathe and eat through the same mouth, guaranteeing that a percentage of us will choke to death every year? You know, not only that, but you have, like, disformities and so on and so forth. There's a lot of shit that doesn't make sense. So, as an atheist, you know, you can call me an agnostic atheist if that makes you feel better. But, quite frankly, by the time I die, I still don't see there being evidence for God. If there is some, I'll have another discussion. But I don't see that happening, so I'm just an atheist. As one, and one that is in the world or in an environment of which is surrounded by religious people, we are bastardized just a little bit. You know, where, oh, he doesn't even believe in God, or, you know, he doesn't believe that God made this. You know, we get those little sarcastic remarks. However, it doesn't bother us. You know why it doesn't bother us? Because we know that we can make a rational and logical and reasonable argument for what they're claiming. You know, no, I don't think God made us, and I know we came from monkeys. Yeah, that sounds fucking stupid to you, but if you were to take 5 minutes out of your day, 5, count them, 5, and you would jump onto fucking Google, and you would look something up and actually pay attention and understand of what you're observing at that moment in time, you would understand that you're wrong. And that's fine. That's okay. I had to admit to myself that I was wrong about a whole lot of shit. Even nowadays, I'm still wrong about shit all the time. Almost every single day, I'm wrong multiple times a day. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with identifying something's wrong and simply ignoring or overriding that because it's not what you believe. That is wrong. That is, in my own opinion, somewhat unacceptable. You know, like they say, Truth is hate for those who hate the truth. You know, how is one to hate the truth? I can understand you being, like, disappointed if you're fucking some bitch and she turns out being pregnant. But the truth is, it's just fucking there. You know, you can't deny it like some guys do. Oh, that's not my baby, blah, 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 blah. And, of course, you can get a DNA test to confirm or deny that claim. But there is a test of what you have to listen to the results. Because that's the whole point of getting a test, right? Is to understand the results. And there have been many tests that continue through this day, and that started a long time ago. Over 100 years ago, there have been tests done to conclude whether evolution is real or not. And from that point until this day, those tests still conclude that evolution does exist, and it is part of our anatomy, and it is part of society, and we are evolving. As, like, you go up to Utah, okay, if you live here in Texas with me, surrounded by a bunch of fucking idiots just like myself, if you go up to Utah, where it's a whole lot of feet above sea level, you know, I believe it's above 1,000 feet, I want to say, it's hard to breathe. But if you're a local up there, it's fine for you to breathe. Why? Because you've been born into that situation. You're used to that. You know, if I were to go to the Sahara Desert or somewhere in the Middle East, I would, like, fucking die. I'd be absolutely miserable. But those people, I'm sure, are comfortable because they've been born in that environment. It's the same exact reason. The same exact reason why you're religious and tied to whichever religion you're tied to. Such as, if you're born in Mexico, you're probably Catholic. If you're born in America, you're probably Christian, you know, or Baptist. You know, if you're born somewhere else, you're probably among other beliefs. And if you're just a tad bit more intelligent than the rest of the world, you're more than likely atheist. Or at least agnostic. Like, if you're agnostic, I can at least accept that. If you accept the scientific principles of evolution and so on and so forth, you just have a couple little questions dabbing in your head, and you just can't take that leap to just say, well, nothing suggests there's a God there, then at least I'll give that to you. But for those people who just absolutely deny the scientific fact based on these tests, the same tests that you do to figure out if the batteries in your remote are dead, or that if you need a new car battery, or what grade you made on a test, the same test you would perform, such as, does this food taste well, is this water drinkable, so on and so forth. If you would listen to those tests, and if you would understand and just accept the results of those tests, I think you'd be a far more intelligent being. But instead of doing any of that, or instead of taking the 5 minutes out of your day to simply research evolution, instead of doing all that, you would rather tell people to simply quit making fun of you. Well, I'm sorry. If you make irrational, absolutely ridiculous claims and notions, then I think that you should be bastardized. Why shouldn't you? Why, if I were to say that, you know, that right there, that's my buddy John, he's a black dude, you know, he loves chicken and watermelon, and right now he's rapping Fact by Eminem, you should probably call me a fucking moron. Absolutely, you should. Because there's obviously nothing existing in that chair besides a McDonald's bag and an umbrella, which I guarantee you are inanimate objects incapable of communicating with me. And I am incapable of communicating with it. I just control it. So, if I were to also say that unicorns are leaping around in my backyard, you should call me a fucking dumbass. So you're making the same claims, the same base of claims of ridiculousness, yet you expect me not to get on to you about it. You expect me not to call you stupid because there are religious beliefs. Well, I don't give a damn. Either way, religious or not, they're fucking stupid. They're fucking stupid, they don't make sense, and the majority of them have been just proven wrong. So, fuck off, grow up, and become educated, and you won't have these problems anymore. So please, stop making fun of me, because I still love Jesus.